Welcome all to the Bangaruamma Global channel. I hope you all had an opportunity to listen to our first speaker, Sakthi Velu Pillai, who spoke to us about transactional devotion. Please click the like button and please also provide us your comments. We would like to continue to hear from you as you listen to the other speakers in the series. We start with the second speaker, Sakthi Renu, who has been an Amma devotee since 1998. She is an engaging and a thought-provoking speaker who will be talking to us about worship centers and how they affect the community. Welcome, Sakthi Renu.
OmSakthi. Guruvadi Sharanam, Tiruvadi Sharanam. Thank you very much, Sakthi Rangaprabha, for the nice introduction. It gives me immense pleasure to present our views and share knowledge with our beloved audience. An ardent devotee since the day Anne Adiparasakti has revealed her identity to me. At her service since the year 1998. A big hello and a warm welcome to all our viewers across the globe from Amma's humble devotee, Renu Mani. With my deep roots in India, I am blessed by Amma to have established a nice family and life in the United States of America. I thank bangaruamma Global channel for extending this fantastic opportunity to discuss an exceptional topic. What is that? How do worship centers bring about a change in the community? Let me repeat that. How do worship centers bring about a change in the community? This is a very important topic, a very required one in the current day's world. In our last episode, Amma's devotee, Sakthi Velu Pillai, rightfully talked about transactional devotion. He presented us with some good examples about how parents are having to reward their children to get them to do even small things like their own homework, let alone help their parents in doing household chores. In the United States, parents incentivize their children to even take out the trash every day or even to watch over their younger siblings sometimes. As humans, we somehow tend to thrive when we are constantly rewarded than learning from the not so good but meaningful experiences. We have somehow extended this contention to everything around us. Many believe in God, but their faith is vastly only transactional. They negotiate with God to fulfill their wishes, and in return, they even offer God something, including things of monetary value. Now, let me ask you, who are we to judge God and say that God expects something in return, right? Sensible question. Why is our devotion so conditional? What we fail to understand is the truth behind divinity. How do we overcome this tendency and make devotion unconditional? How do we engage in selflessness? The answer is worship centers. I repeat again, the answer to those questions is worship centers. Worship centers are good aids to promote selflessness and provide satisfaction through true devotion, faith, and service to all living things. So, before we dive into our topic for today of how worship centers bring about a change in the community, let's first try and understand what worship centers mean. Instantaneously, we may associate worship centers with religion, right? That's a common thinking. I would like to think of them as vehicles of support for all human beings. This thought would help unite our goals behind having these worship centers where we endorse our commitment to a better society. There is this strong view that places of worship offer an essential point of reference, or a meeting place rather, where people of the same faith can find others with shared values, cultural references, and a sense of community. Whereas worship centers are those common places that help us take a look into our inner selves and enable us to promote a sense of duty and deliver on our life's purpose. It is rather a feel-good experience than a life-changing one. That is a very, very important factor that we should all understand and embrace. Worship centers play a vital role in the society by being that vehicle or common place to assist the needy and influencing others to develop compassion. Food donations, helping the homeless, and funding for education are some of the examples of giving back to the community. And these centers nurture such good intentions and are critical resources for such activities. Mark my words, critical resources for such activities. Some of my friends and acquaintances from time to time have expressed that they would like to do charity or service, but did not know how to go about them. I happily refer them to my favorite worship center. Some of them have come back later and provided feedback that they have found their purpose in life. They have since been able to engage in several meaningful activities and get peace and contentment. Such has been the influence of worship centers on many individuals. The worship center, that worship center, my favorite one, is none other than the Melmaruvathur Siddhar Peedam. People pray to Anna Adiparasakkthi at this place, and this worship center runs under the tutelage and guidance of our Guru Arul Thiru Bangaru Adigalar. Now let me ask you, how many have actually noticed and acknowledged the representations of other religions at this place? How many? It is there, it's true. This is one of those very, very few worship centers, probably one of its kind, that has representations of other religions. This place is the epitome of a very inclusive culture that has embraced all religions from across the globe and emphasizes unity in the society. Now, let's see how such worship centers bring about change in society. That's our topic for today. Melmaruvathur is a standing example of how it has succeeded in influencing society to break several barriers. We can all proudly acknowledge how it changed the perspective on women in society. For example, ancient culture continued to deprive women of entering the sanctum sanctorum, restricting them from key activities and condemning them from stepping foot inside the sanctum sanctorum during menstruation. Many are aware of this. Despite several technological advancements and the so-called understanding of the advanced sciences, the human mind refused to accept the natural occurrence of menstrual cycles in women. They even ignored women's critical contributions to this world, birthing. But seeing a massive opportunity in uprooting such ignorance, our Guru Amma rose to the occasion in seeing through this necessary change. While many entities may have previously attempted, Melmaruvathur Siddhar Peedam became one of its kind to have fully succeeded in empowering women, raising their status, and breaking such barriers of restricted access to temples. It certainly was not an overnight task, but an enormous effort requiring patience, perseverance, and empathy. Amma embraced those qualities and enlightened our minds. She did not preach, but instead demonstrated through her actions that enabled women finally to see light at the end of the tunnel. What could have been more challenging for Amma than women themselves not buying into the idea of breaking such barriers? That's the truth. But Amma persevered and helped women understand and overcome their blind faith and fear of society. It took a tremendous amount of time, energy, and determination to achieve what we are now benefiting from: gender equality and a non-discriminating society. This worship center has contributed to the community vastly. We can all be proud of being part of this worship center. While Amma's goal seemed quite simple, it took an army for her to implement this change, a change that needed acceptance before it could be implemented. A forced change would have probably lasted a few days, weeks, months, perhaps even a year. But what Amma has done for our community is here to last forever. We have a role model fully responsible for establishing this unique worship center, welcoming people from all walks of life, and instilling a common goal and core value to help the community. Somehow, humans tend to gravitate towards something that can bring peace and serenity. History is our best example. Our responsibility is to bring about such positive changes in society. Isn't that correct? No one can impose faith on others, but the qualities of caring, giving, and being compassionate can be taught and executed. Now, that's what will embrace all cultures and religions. I remember an incident from the year 1998 when I was fast asleep one night and had a dream. I'd like to share that experience with you guys. A person of certain description, unknown to me at the time, walks into my house and sits on a chair. He blesses me and says he would get me married and take care of me forever. Although unsure of this stranger's words and expressions, they sounded quite reassuring. I was secretly happy. He then disappears in my dream, and the dream ends. When I woke up the following morning, I shared my dream with my mother. My mother was quite surprised as well, but we both brushed it off simply as a dream after all, right? It's a dream. However, a couple of months later, I met my to-be husband at the time. He and his family were ardent devotees of Amma, and they took me to Melmaruvathur for the first time to perform Pada Puja, or the holy anointment to our Guru Amma. For the very first time in reality, not a dream anymore, I saw Amma walk past me, casting her graceful glance at me. That was when it dawned on me that the person I had seen in my dream was none other than our own Bangaru Amma. Needless to say, I had arrived at my destination, Amma's abode, to follow in her path and be a part of this worship center that has since taught me many values and made me a better human being. I've been following her path for the last 23 years. Today, I see myself as an empowered woman who could contribute much to the society through selfless service. Although I met Amma in space, right? That's what I consider. I met her in my dream, that's space. In reality, it required a physical entity on this mighty earth to learn and engage in many meaningful activities, service to humankind and society. This worship center has provided me with umpteen opportunities to pursue my passion, to give, to make it worthwhile, and seek inner peace. If every one of us can work towards a common goal of uplifting the downtrodden, educating the poor, feeding the hungry, wouldn't this world be a much better place to live? With so much diversity at this worship center and great opportunities to perform good deeds, people from across the globe come to witness a multitude of volunteers partake in several social activities and get motivated to do service. Such is the influence of this worship center. And believe me, there are many such worship centers that support the good and a common cause. It is simply mind-blowing to see thousands of volunteers quietly performing their duties every day, from sweeping floors, perform their duties of preparing food for all visitors and serving them with great kindness, to cleaning bathrooms and maintaining a very clean environment at all times for everyone to visit and use the facilities. Volunteers include white-collar workers, such as doctors, lawyers, other such professionals, blue-collar workers, all under one roof, serving with such humility and unity. This place has brought the rich and the poor all under one roof, emphasizing that we are all one. Everyone is treated the same. Men, women, children, and senior citizens all visit this place of worship. They worship, they meditate, serve, and get peace of mind. Now, let me tell you something else. Habits. Habits form at an early age. We all know that, right? So when it comes to kids, we should catch them while they're still very young. Research shows that children develop habits by age 9. It is delightful to see many children and young adults try and participate in volunteer activities at the Melmaruvathur Worship Center. People experience a sense of contentment. I believe that we hold the responsibility to ensure that future generations adopt such key values for the greater good. At this place, everyone can feed off each other's knowledge and resources to correctly identify and aid where needed. This place has grown so much to establish hospitals, schools, colleges, meditation centers, etc., to offer free services that anyone with the right intention can serve at any time, basically. This place supports children with special needs, orphans, and senior citizens needing care. What this place is ultimately trying to teach through its services is compassion, service, and sacrifice. How can we ignore? Let me ask you, how can we ignore the immense satisfaction we get from such selfless service? Should we not properly acknowledge the benefits of such worship centers to share and spread such great values? With that thought in your mind, I will go ahead and wrap up our session for today and appreciate the opportunity. OmSakthi.
Wow, Sakthi Renu. We all got an opportunity to hear about how you became an Amma devotee. Thank you, Renu Sakthi, for your thought-provoking speech. You asked a lot of great questions as you were speaking about the worship center and how they affect the community around us. This is one of those speeches that I'm sure I will be sharing with my boys so that we can have a discussion about all the questions that Renu Sakthi was asking regarding worship centers and how we can all contribute to the worship centers by volunteering in them. I hope you really like the speech and that you share with your friends and family. And please provide us your comments as we continue this series. Om Sakthi.
அம்மாவை நினை மனமே மேல்மருவூர் அம்மாவை நினை மனமே.
Please like, share, and subscribe to the Bangaru Amma Global YouTube channel for more inspiring and uplifting videos like this one.